Okay. Good morning. Right. Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We're very happy to welcome you to this webinar on transformational leadership. This is an important subject for discussion, and I need to let you know that we have come live on YouTube. So as we speak, many people can watch us across the globe on YouTube. So we are live on YouTube. Good morning. Please mute yourself until you are asked to speak. Please mute yourself. Everyone should mute themselves. It's only when you are speaking that you can unmute yourself. So let me, from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of Richmap Consulting Limited, professionals. Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We're very happy. Okay, so we are live on YouTube. That's what you just hearing now on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, you can also be listening to this webinar. I need to say that we have very important persons and personalities on our midst. I want to especially thank and welcome the Director of Trade and Exchange of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Unanji. So she is in our midst. We also have very important personalities. I will now share the material with you. I'm going to share the screen with you right now so that we commence the program very speedily. Thank you very much for coming. Right. So I'd like to welcome all of you to this program. My name is Dr. Emmanuel Abolo. I'm the president of the Professional Speakers Society of Nigeria, and also the Director General, the founder and Director General of the Economic Think Tank Center Limited. You're going to see my profile as we progress very quickly, but that is not the focus of the presentation. That is the outline. That is the outline of my presentation. Okay. We're going to do some housekeeping. Then I share with you some quotable quotes that relate to the topic that we are discussing. Then what is transformational leadership? What are the characteristics of a transformational leader? Then we're going to watch a video for 7 minutes, Transformational Leadership Theory by Dr. Alex Leon. Then we're going to try to see the distinction between transactional and transformational leader. What are the components? What are the components and elements of transformational leadership? Then we just take a quick look at some examples of transformational leaders in history. The key elements of transformational leadership, what are the roles and responsibility of a transformational leader? And if you practice and unleash transformational leadership in your organization, what are going to be the results? Then we take a look at the big picture. And then, of course, as we gradually navigate to the end of the program, we are going to see how to be an effective transformational leader. It's very easy to talk about the theory of transformational leader. So what should be engaging your mind is, yes, I've heard it. I know what transformational leadership is about now, but how do I transform? How do I become a transformational leader, both in the workplace and in your private life? Then you watch a video for about 4 minutes that talks about how you can be a transformational leader. It's an animation. Then there will be a self-assessment at the end of the presentation. The assessment will be able to tell you whether you are currently a transformational leader. And if you don't qualify, you don't go into that bracket, then of course, you now begin to use that video, how you can be a transformational leader. Once again, You're welcome to this webinar organized by RiskMap Consulting Limited. Housekeeping: presentation slides will be made available to all participants at the end of this program. You can be very sure you're going to get the presentation. And please kindly send your email address to info@riskmapgroup.com. Certificates of participation would also be issued to all participants. Indicate to us via email how your name should appear on the certificate. You send the email to info@riskmapgroup.com. Now, this is the speaker. I'm sure some of you all already have an indication of my profile. I hold a PhD degree in economics with over 25 years of dynamic experience. I was the Chief Risk and Compliance Officer at Nexim Bank. I was the first Chief Economist at First Bank of Nigeria. I was the first Chief Economist at Access Bank PLC, Basel Project Manager. I was a one-time Group Head Operational Risk. I am IFC Certified Corporate Governance Board Leadership Trainer. I'm the Director of Center for Good Corporate Governance of Nigeria. I'm listed by the World Bank as one of the finest minds in risk management in Africa. I am a recipient of the Federal Government of Nigeria National Merit Award. As I said before, founder, economic think tank, board member of 5 other companies, past president, Risk Management Association of Nigeria, council member, Gasson Lema Group, president, Institute for Governance, Risk Management and Compliance Professionals. I'm a fellow of 5 organizations, etc., etc. I have presented over 800 papers, both locally and internationally. I was also recently awarded the certificate of Distinguished Reviewer, by the Journal of Risk Governance and Control Financial Markets and Institutions for 2020. This is from Ukraine, Virtus Interpress. So we start. Quotable quotes on the subject. I have this first one by Terina R. Allen, President and CEO, Avis Institute. And he had this to say, listen very carefully. Leadership is not about titles. Leadership is not about titles. It is not about seniority. It is not about status. And it is not about management. Leadership is about power and the ability to know when and how to use it to influence the people around you to do and become more. Transformational leadership is about using your actions to elevate others and put them on their path to progress. The focus of the transformational leader is to elevate others and not to elevate himself, not to raise his shoulder above his head. As a transformational leader, your objective is to make others great. That is Terina R.A. Allen. This other one by Seth Godin. He had this to say about transformational leadership. Transformational leaders don't start by denying the world around them. Instead, they describe a future they would like to create. Instead, they focus on the future. Their focus is not on the immediate. The focus is not on the present. They are visionary in nature. They look up to the future, but they take into account the environment, and the environment is made up of its people. You don't have to ignore your people. You carry them along as you navigate your way into the future. Those are very important quotes. So now, have you ever been in a team where someone took control of the situation? Just think back. You are in a team, you're in a meeting, somebody just took control. He took control of the situation by conveying a clear vision of the group's goals, a marked passion for the work, and an ability to make the rest of the group feel recharged and energized. Can you think of someone like that? You're in a meeting. It's not, we said transformational leadership is not about seniority. It's not about position. It's not about status. It's about somebody taking charge. Somebody, taking charge and taking the entire group into the future. This person just might be what is called a transformational leader. Transformational leadership is leadership style. that can inspire positive changes in those who follow. Transformational leaders are generally, they are energetic, they are enthusiastic, they are passionate. Not only are these leaders concerned and involved in the process of trying to create a future, they are also focused on helping every member of the group succeed as well. So it's not about me. It's about the people. It's about the people you're trying to lead. There is no leadership if there is no follower. If you look at the head of a department, the head of a church, the head of a club, and you look behind you, nobody is following, my friend, you are not a leader. There is no leadership without a follower. So a transformational leader is focused on helping every member, every member of the group to succeed. Don't say this person is not relevant here. This person doesn't add value to what we are doing here. You must be sure that every member, there is always a gift in every member of your team. So don't ignore anyone. That is what transformational leadership is all about. So that's what we say. Look at that leader in front. You can see everybody is following her. You can see everybody is energetic. Everybody is smiling. Everybody is determined to follow this great leader. That is a transformational leader. So anytime you look behind you and nobody is following you, nobody is buying into your goals, nobody is buying into your mission, nobody is buying into your vision, sorry, you're not a leader. You are just occupying a position. You are just occupying a seat. You are just occupying a position. So a great leader or transformational leaders, they show the way, they point the direction, and you see everyone trying to follow. That is a transformational leader. Now, just by way of trying to see how did this transformational leadership, how did it come about? Now, this program is not about leadership style. There are several leadership styles, several of them. You have the democratic leadership, the laissez-faire leadership style, you have the autocratic leadership style, and so on. But in 1973, a sociologist, James Duncan, he was the one who coined the term transformational leadership. Now, leadership expert James Bones was the one who defined transformational leaders as those who seek to change existing thoughts on the line. They don't believe in the status quo. They think outside the box. They change existing thoughts. They challenge existing status quo. They also change techniques, goals for better results and the greater good. Burns also described transformational leaders as those who focus on the essential needs of the followers. He's focused on the needs of the followers, more like the what you call the hierarchy of needs by Maslow. We all remember Maslow, the hierarchy of needs. These transformational leaders, they focus on the essential needs of the followers. We're going to see that much later when we try to discuss the distinction between transactional leadership and transformational leadership. Transformational leadership is a leadership style in which leaders encourage, they inspire, and they motivate their employees to innovate, to be creative, to create change that will help grow and shape the future success of the company. It's also a process. It's a process. It's a process whereby a person engages with others and creates a connection that raises the level of motivation and morality in both the leader and the follower. Underline the word motivation. But of course, how come the word morality has come in? Morality comes in here because there's another concept that is called pseudo-transformational. Pseudo-transformational. So you have a leader that can inspire, that can motivate, but he lacks morality. He lacks ethics. He lacks integrity. Such a person is described as being pseudo-transformational. So any proper transformational leadership must bring in the element of morality. As you try to motivate people, you make sure you do so within ethical standards without compromising morality. Now let's take our minds back to Hitler. Hitler of Germany, he was able to motivate people to the extent that they were willing to kill themselves, to die for that cause, but they lack morality. So the type of transformational leader we are talking about here are those leaders that motivate, that encourage, that innovate, that change people, challenge thoughts, but within the confines of morality. Once you compromise on morality and you still have followers, such a person is described as being pseudo-false, pseudo-transformational. So from what we have discussed so far, we can begin to characterize, begin to look at the qualities and the characteristics of a transformational leader. As we look at these characteristics, you should begin to interrogate your mind and conscience whether you have some of these characteristics. No need to be in a hurry. At the end, we are going to have a self-assessment as to whether we are transformational leaders. If you are currently not a transformational leader, no sweat, nothing to worry about. That is the essence of this program. You can be a great transformational leader. These are the characteristics. They keep their ego in check. They keep their ego in check. They're not those who say, do you know who you are talking to? Do you know I can fire you from this job? Do you know me? They keep their ego in check. They engage in self-management. They manage themselves. They exercise self-control. They are not loose. They have ability to take the right risks. They are not afraid to take risks, but they take calculated risks. They make difficult decisions, very difficult decisions. These decisions may not be popular, but they believe in those decisions because they are looking at the future, not the immediate. They share collective organizational consciousness. What is the consciousness? What is the spirit of that organization? They share in it. They entertain new ideas. They don't shut down ideas. No idea is stupid for a transformational leader because there's always something good in every idea. Remember, for instance, when someone said that the world was round, he was executed, he was killed. How can you say this world is round? How is that possible? Because at that time they said the world was a square. A square gave them the mental picture that yes, you can't fall down. But when somebody said that the world was round, he was killed. So transformational leaders, they entertain new ideas. They are adaptable. They are not static. They are not linear in nature. They are non-linear. They are very adaptable. They are proactive, not reactive. They proactive before something happens. Not real. They lead with vision. They have a vision. They are visionary. Okay? And then, of course, they motivate their subordinates. We've said a lot about that. They motivate their subordinates. They create emotional attachment. They go into the realm of emotion. I'm sure we're familiar with the concept of emotional intelligence. So if you want your workers to be able to work and add value, they must elevate their emotions, emotional intelligence. So these leaders create emotional attachment with employees. They gum, they super glue with their employees, with their subordinates. I hate to use the word subordinate, sub. No, I call it equal. Stop using the word subordinate. There's nothing like subordinate. I'm working on a theory which I have called equidinates. They integrate the elements of empathy. They are compassionate. They are sensitive. They are relationship builders. They are innovative. They foster a climate of trust. No gossip here and there. Everybody is trustworthy. They nurture employees' confidence. They encourage their individual development. They practice participative decision-making. It's not just a question of just attending one meeting somewhere and now reel down decisions on your people. No, you carry them along. You allow them to be part of the process of making that decision. They share power. They inspire their workforce without micromanaging. Are you a micromanager? If you're a micromanager, it means you do the whole work yourself and you kill yourself. A transformational leader tries to create somebody like himself. He tries to create people like himself. So imagine if everybody is like you will see you live a very healthy life. But where you have to do everything by yourself, you're killing yourself. And you must know that nobody is indispensable. Everybody is dispensable. So when you think you are the only expert, you're the only one who can do the job, go ahead. You are not a transformational leader. You should be able to transform others to be exactly like you. Just a minute. So these are, we try to characterize the whole discussion. These are the broad characteristics of transformational leaders. They translate strategy into action. Transformational leaders don't just end up with strategy. They translate that strategy into action. Because of course, you know that the success of any strategy, the success of any plan is that it is based on execution. It's 20-80 rule, 20% for the planning process for the document which you have produced. 80% is for execution. If you are a transformational leader, you are not one who is going to keep your plan, your business plan, your corporate plan inside the cupboard. And you, when regulators come, say, I have a plan. Whom are you kidding? Then they also build strategic relationships. They network. They believe that they cannot achieve everything on their own. So they network. They build relationships, both within their own environment and also the outside the environment. They leverage your emotional intelligence. We have said that they live through change. They are not static. They are stochastic. They are dynamic. And then, of course, they develop employee capability. They don't shy away from training their people. They don't shy away, right? So these are, in broad terms, the characteristics of transformational leaders. We are now going to watch a video. It's a very short video, so please watch. Take a look at 5.
Today, I'm going to rely mostly on 2 key books. Johnson and Hackman's book on leadership, a communication perspective, and Nordhaus's book on leadership. I highly recommend both for your personal library. I'll put all the references and links in the description.
It's not allowed. Sorry, just a moment, just a moment. Um, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, just we try to correct this now. Um,
We are going to look at transformational leadership theory. We'll take a look at 5 key characteristics of transformational leaders, and we'll see if you can relate to them. So let's get into it. I'm Alex Line, and we will soon have almost 200 videos on communication and leadership on this channel. Today, I'm going to rely mostly on 2 key books, Johnson and Hackman's book on leadership, a communication perspective, and Nordhaus's book on leadership. I highly recommend both for your personal library, and I will put all of the references and links in the description below this video. There's been lots of interest lately in the transformational leadership approach, but it has its origins in the late 1970s. James McGregor Burns wrote a book on leadership where he contrasted transformational leaders with transactional leadership. He used Maslow's hierarchy of needs to explain these 2 approaches. Transactional leadership is where a leader is mainly concerned with helping followers meet their lower level needs on the bottom tiers of Maslow's pyramid by satisfying followers' psychological, safety, and belonging needs. It's a transaction. In exchange for followers' hard work, transactional leaders help followers secure these rewards. Transformational leaders take that to the next level and attempt to engage the entire person to satisfy followers' lower level needs that I mentioned, and also their higher level needs on Maslow's hierarchy, esteem and self-actualization. According to Burns, transformational leaders enhance followers' level of motivation, commitment, and ownership. Ultimately, the thinking goes, this transforms followers into leaders themselves. Johnson and Hackman describe the 5 key characteristics of transformational leaders. Let's see if you can relate to any of these personally. First, transformational leaders are creative. They're always looking for new ideas and ways to do things. They challenge business as usual. Creative people come from all walks of life. What they have in common is that they are hardworking, nonconformist in their thinking, and they're comfortable with ambiguity and complexity. A great example of this is Dave Kelly. He's the founder of IDEO, the most successful product design firm in the world. Kelly and IDEO were known for developing incredibly innovative products and services for clients. So question for you, do you see yourself as a creative person? The good news is Dave Kelly has been teaching professionals creativity skills for decades, and he's convinced that anybody can be more creative with practice. Second, transformational leaders are interactive. They communicate a lot with followers. They are engaged. And through this communication, they become more aware of their followers' needs and motivations. As Johnson and Hackman say, only when the leader is involved with followers can he or she find ways to do things better. A great current day example is Barack Obama. I've never met him, but they say that he's very interactive, socially engaged, and a strong communicator. He connects with everyday people and world leaders equally well. Question for you, would you describe yourself as interactive? Do you have strong people skills? Well, communication skills are learnable, and we can all improve with guidance and practice. Third, transformational leaders are visionary. Some say this is their most important characteristic. They can explain in concise and clear language where they want to take the organization. They're able to explain the goal with a sense of purpose and ways that energize people and creates a standard of excellence that inspires followers. And I can think of no better person to illustrate this than Martin Luther King Jr. He articulated in compelling language a vision for the future that was worth fighting for. His famous I Have a Dream speech is perhaps one of the most vision-based communication examples there is. A question for you, are you able to articulate a goal and purpose clearly and in a compelling way? But like the other characteristics mentioned, you can get better with practice. Now remember, before King gave his famous speech, he was preaching and speaking multiple times a week in church and in the community for decades. He sharpened his message with lots and lots of practice. And practice is something that anybody can do. Fourth, transformational leaders are empowering. As I said earlier, Burns based his thinking about transformational leaders on the higher levels of Maslow's hierarchy. The top level is self-actualization. Transformational leaders, in essence, have to empower their leaders to become all they can be by delegating important jobs and then supporting and trusting followers to rise to the occasion. This also allows organizations to grow more quickly. I think Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, is a great example of an empowering leader. In his book, Shoe Dog, he described the early years at Nike when he was hiring employees. He quickly recognized that if he wanted Nike to grow, he had to empower his employees to build the business and sell more shoes without his day-to-day direct involvement in every decision. So, question for you: are you able to delegate, encourage, and trust others to take action? If we want to engage our followers on those highest levels and help them grow into leaders themselves, then empowerment is the best way to get there. Fifth, transformational leaders are passionate. They are true believers in their cause. They demonstrate extraordinary commitment, even in the face of repeated failure. Their passion, enthusiasm, and motivation are contagious. Mother Teresa is a great example. Her organization and mission was to minister to the sick and dying, the people on the streets that society had forgotten. She worked until she was 87 years old and was hospitalized several times as she got older. There were many stories about Mother Teresa leaving the hospital early. She would say to doctors, "I have to go. I still have important work to do." Her passion and commitment electrified the people around her. So, question for you: how would you rate your level of passion? If we can find something we truly care about, that's usually when we will see our level of passion go up. So how would you rate yourself on each of these key 5 characteristics? As mentioned, I highly recommend Johnson and Hackman's book on leadership. There's a link below to that. And I recently recorded a related video on the top 5 traits that leaders tend to have. Once that is posted, I will put a link to that video in the description below this one as well. Until next time, thanks, God bless, and I will see you soon. We are going.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I hope we all enjoyed the video. It tries to summarize who a transformational leader is. Now, from what we have said so far, it is very possible for us to begin to see the distinction between a transactional leader and a transformational leader. This slide tries to do that. We are going to make the assessment or the distinction based on these categories which we have listed on the left-hand side. What is the leader's source of power? What is your source of power? If you are a transactional leader, your source of power is from your rank, is from your position. I'm a managing director. I'm a deputy managing managing director. I'm the head of department. That is the source of such a person's power. But for a transformational leader, his source of power is from his character, is from his competence. We can see that distinction. In terms of follower reaction, how do they react? If you're a transactional leader, it is based on compliance. You have to comply. You have to comply. I have said it. The organization has said it. You must comply. And then, of course, for transformational leader, it is commitment to the vision of the transformational leader. Time frame: transactional leader, short term; transformational leader, longer term. Rewards: pay, promotion. For transformational leader, it is price, self-esteem. We just saw Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So if you take a look at this slide, you'll be able to determine where you are on this on the page, whether you are a transformational leader or a transactional leader. But today we are saying we can navigate, we can take access from the level of a transactional leader to the level of a transformational leader. So the transformational leader, he models the way, he reaches out to the heart, he inspires people with a shared vision, He enables others to act. He encourages them. He gives them the tools for them to act. He challenges the process. He does not believe in status quo. This also tries to describe again those 4 components of a transformational leader. He influences people. He's purpose-driven. He's a role model. He walks the talk. He's inspirational. He inspires his followers. He is people-driven. He knows that everybody is not the same. That is individualized consideration. Everyone is not the same. A transformational leader does not use a broad brush. Does not use a broad brush to brush everybody. Everybody is not the same. People are different. God created people differently. We are all unique. So a transformational leader does not put everybody into a bucket and treats them the same way. And then, of course, a transformational leader, he challenges the intellectual capacity of every individual within his team. He is innovating. He challenges followers to be innovative and creative. He encourages them to think outside the box, to think outside the rules of engagement, and begin to look at things from a different perspective and different direction. That is a transformational leader. This also takes a hard look on it. Leading change, he motivates, he breaches resistance, he encourages people to navigate through change, through the changes in the environment. He's persuasive, he's engaging, he's able to influence others. That means he has a flexible leadership style. Let me just make this point. Transformational leadership brings in the good qualities, the good points and characteristics of different types of leadership styles and put them together. That is how he's able to transform, to change the form of people from the current state into another level of a state within the visionary architecture. So these are some examples, and during that video presentation, you see, he also mentioned some examples of transformational leaders. As you see these individuals, you like to imitate them. You have Abraham Lincoln, a one-time president of the United States, Mahatma Gandhi of India, Mandela of South Africa. These are all examples of transformational leaders. Then, of course, Steve Jobs, late Steve Jobs. We all remember him very well. Then, of course, Oprah Winfrey, and then Martin Luther Jr. I have a dream. So these are all transformational leaders. You see how the followers, they follow them closely because they are inspirational, they are persuasive, they are energetic, and they have the charisma. So that is what we are trying to look at here. Everyone on this platform, everyone listening to me can be a transformational leader. So what are the key elements? Let's summarize them again. What are the key elements of a transformational leader? We said they are inspirational. They are inspirational. That is a foundation. Any leader that is not inspirational is not a transformational leader. The foundation of transformational leadership is the promotion of a consistent vision, mission, and a set of values to the members. Their vision is so compelling that they know what they want from every interaction. They guide followers. They guide. They don't abandon their followers. They provide them with a sense of meaning and challenge. They work enthusiastically and optimistically to foster the spirit of teamwork and commitment. The intellectual stimulation, they encourage their followers to be innovative and creative. They encourage, they invite new ideas from their followers, and they never criticize them publicly. They never criticize them publicly. Please, you can underline that. So do you criticize your team members in the public? Do you try to bring them down? That is not the spirit of a transformational leader. And of course, they focus on the what in a problem and not the blaming part of it. They don't engage in the blame game. This person is responsible for this. This one is responsible for this. This one is responsible for that. Do the job. Stop the blame game. Anyone who is involved in blame game is not a transformational leader. No hesitation in discarding an old practice. They don't believe in the status quo. They believe that nothing is static, anything can be challenged. Idealist influence, we talked about that before. They practice what they preach. Of course, they're able to win the trust of their and respect their followers through their action. Action speaks louder than words. They walk the talk. Of course, they demonstrate high standards of ethical conduct. Individualized consideration, they act as mentors to their followers and reward them for creativity and innovation. Followers are treated differently according to their talents and knowledge. Characteristics of transformational leaders. Of course, these are the results. When you practice transformational leadership, these are the results. You create beneficial partnerships. There are aligned emotions. Your emotions are aligned with those of your followers. They sustain determination. They foster a sense of vision and hope in the face of obstacles. They demonstrate enthusiasm and energy for the work. Of course, intellectual flexibility. They do not bury themselves in a fixation. They always allow themselves to recognize that nothing is static. They see themselves and others and the world accurately, learning from past mistakes and consequently adjusting behaviors and viewpoints. They are people, the character, they exhibit high moral standards and integrity. So if you take a look at this, you'll find that this is taking a look at the big picture of transformational leadership. For poor leaders, they make today worse for everyone using coercive power. Poor leaders, they make today worse for everyone using coercive power. For the transactional leader, they make today better by rewarding good performance. Their focus is on evaluation, performance. In contrast, transformational leaders are focused on making tomorrow better. Transformational leaders achieve all this in four main ways, as we said, through their visioning process. They are authentic, they have a growth mindset, they are creative. So when they apply all of these characteristics, you find that the transformational leader is able to create tomorrow. So how do you become a transformational leader? This is a very good question. We have talked about the theory, we have talked about the characteristics of a transformational leader. It is always very easy to listen to read about something, but how do you translate that into reality? The first thing to do is to allow followers to express their creativity. That's number one. It is important to provide intellectual stimulation to the followers. Allow them to express their creativity. Your followers need to feel free to express the creativity in them. Effective leaders, transformational leaders are expected to offer challenges along with support to the followers of the think of creative ways to solve problems. The second thing, if you want to be a transformational leader, you must be a role model. You must walk the talk. Action speaks louder than words. Transformational leaders, they have four key components, and idealist influence is one of those. To be able to influence, you look at be able to create ideas, be a role model. They serve as role model for others to follow. In simple terms, they are ready to walk the talk. So walk the talk if you want to be an effective transformational leader. Passion, that has been explained. Nobody wants to follow a leader who does not sincerely care about various goals. Transformational leaders are not only focused on getting the task done, but they also show a genuine enthusiasm and passion for their work. So when you demonstrate passion for what you're doing, if you demonstrate that enthusiasm, then you are on the way to becoming a transformational leader. Of course, effective communication and listening skills are also very important. When you listen to Martin Luther King, you will understand what we're talking about. And also Barack Obama, you listen to him. And of course, for those who like Donald Trump, you also see that he's an effective communicator And of course, whether about listening skills, I'm not quite sure, but it has effective communication. Is also a transformational leader. Develop a positive attitude. Nobody wants to follow somebody with a negative attitude. There is an old saying that your attitude decides your altitude. Transformational leaders act as a source of inspiration for their followers. You demonstrate. So even when things are done, you say, we are not done. We are going to succeed. We are going to get ahead of this problem. Encourage team members to contribute. Members of your team should feel welcome if they want to share their ideas. Don't stifle ideas. No idea is stupid. A transformational leader will listen and entertain every contributions of their team members. That way, you make them to be passionate, and you also encourage and beef up their emotional intelligence. So how can you be a transformational leader? Okay, you shape the environment, you establish your teams, you coach people, you lead through change. Now, this video is about 4 minutes, will help us to be a transformational leader. Please listen.
Transformational leadership is a very effective style of leadership, and decades of leadership research has shown that it leads to a wide variety of positive outcomes. Followers are engaged, satisfied, have positive attitudes, experience less stress and burnout, and perform at higher than expected levels. In order to be a transformational leader, one is required to perform behaviors that fall roughly into 4 broad categories. The first category, which is called idealized influence, includes behaviors that involve becoming a strong role model for your followers or your subordinates. You can become a strong role model by working very hard and by setting a positive example for everyone around you. If your followers see you working conscientiously and diligently day in and day out, odds are that they will begin to respect you and admire you. A second way by which you can become a strong role model is by being uncompromisingly ethical. Through your words, you can communicate to your followers that you have high moral and ethical standards. And through your actions, you can communicate that you stick to your high moral and ethical standards even when the going gets tough. A third way would be to emphasize to your followers the importance of having a common mission and make self-sacrifices to help your followers to realize that mission. Enacting such behaviors will earn their respect, and they will want to identify with you and with what you stand for. The second category of behaviors is called inspirational motivation. It involves developing a promising vision for the future and then clearly communicating that vision to your followers through the use of inspiring stories, vivid imagery, and captivating symbols. It also includes making emotional appeals to your followers and urging them to work harder and go above and beyond their roles and responsibilities in the pursuit of this shared vision. Such appeals, especially if made by someone that they greatly respect and admire, often result in a high level of commitment and performance. The third category of behaviors is called intellectual stimulation. It includes encouraging followers to look at day-to-day problems from different perspectives and allowing them to come up with creative solutions to those problems. It also involves supporting your subordinates as they think outside the box and try new methods to solve existing problems. This might mean that you might have to have a certain amount of tolerance for mistakes that are made in the process, because thinking outside the box and developing creative solutions can sometimes backfire. A transformational leader does not let the fear of mistakes constrain the creativity of his or her subordinates and provides them with a supportive environment where they can take calculated risks. The fourth and final category of behaviors is called individualized consideration. This includes coaching and helping your followers to achieve their goals. It also involves providing a supportive climate and carefully listening to their needs so that you can help them to fulfill those needs. The type of coaching that you can offer your followers may vary depending upon who is in need of help. For some followers, you might have to provide explicit guidance regarding how to get a job done, while for some others, you might have to offer them the resources that they need and let them figure out the solution on their own. These are the 4 types of behaviors which, if you perform consistently, will make you a transformational leader that people respect and admire. And as noted previously, decades of research has shown that being a transformational leader pays huge dividends. If you like this video, please consider sharing it with someone else who might find it useful.
Thank you very much. So that video once again summarizes how to be a transformational leader. Before we go to the last slide on self-assessment, which you are going to do yourself, and then you post your result on the chat box. This is a self-assessment. Somebody asked a question: can people be trained to become a transformational leader? What do you think? The answer is yes. The answer is a resounding yes. You can be trained. And I can assure you that RiskMap Consulting Limited has been deploying this training for various organizations. It's about a 4 modules training that one has to go through for 2 days. And those who have undergone this training have actually, we have been following very closely. They have become transformational leaders, even though they are not perfect. Ultimately, everybody wants to be a leader that succeeds. So the answer is yes. RiskMap Consulting Limited has been undertaking and deploying this training program across organizations. Now, this is the bit where you are going to do it yourself. Respond to the following 8 statements with yes. So as I go through it, you will be answering yourself. You'll be indicating for yourself whether it is yes or no. It has always been easy for me to inspire people. Yes or no, you note it. My team will say I am attentive to their concerns and needs. My team often say I am attentive to their concerns and needs. What is your answer? You note it. I would never ask a member of my team to do something that I wouldn't do. I would never ask a member of my team to do something that I wouldn't do. Number 4, I believe the keys to success lies in innovation and creativity. I believe the keys to success lies in innovation and creativity. Number 5, I have been told my positive energy is catchy. I have been told my positive energy is catchy. Number 6, my group or team knows what I stand for. My group or team knows what I stand for. Number 7, I encourage my team to question automatic conclusions. I encourage my team to question automatic conclusions. Number 8, I delegate tasks with the objective of increasing my team's skills and capabilities. I delegate tasks with the objective of increasing my team's skills and capabilities. So how did you score? Let's listen to you. If you scored 8/8, if you scored 8/8, let's hear you. Unmute yourself and tell us the name of your organization. If you scored 8/8, that is, if you scored yes, 8/8, let us hear from you. You unmute yourself and tell us where you are from and your name. Okay, there is no 8/8. What about 7/8? 7/8. Folorunsho idiot. Please unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Folorunsho. Are you not able to unmute yourself? Please unmute yourself, please. Follow short idiot.
Hello, sir. I got 8/8. Please
Who's got 8/8? Follow short.
unmute.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes. You are from which organization?
Follow short idiot. Hello.
What is the name of your organization? BOA.
Yes.
Bank of Agri.
Bank of Agriculture.
Yes, sir.
You scored 8/8.
I did.
So I'm sure you have members of your colleagues here. Can they vouch for that? That you are a transformational leader?
Let me see. I don't know which one of them is there, but even my colleagues in that office will vouch for me.
Please, is there anybody from Bank of Agriculture here?
Yes, Oladile is here.
Jonathan cannot.
Please,
Jonathan,
yes. Jonathan, Follow Shoidi said she's a transformational leader. Can you
exactly she is.
Exactly, she
is.
Fantastic.
I can testify.
Fantastic.
We are all witnesses.
So I confirm it.
Okay, that's good. That's
Thank
good.
you.
That's good. Any other 8/8? Okay, 7/8.
Yes, I can say I got 7.
Who got 7?
Jonathan.
From Bank of Agriculture again. Please, can your colleagues confirm that Jonathan is a transformational leader? No need for it, no solidarity confirmation. No.
No, I can confirm that.
That's great. That's
I can
great.
confirm that.
Okay. Finally, any person
I got 7 too.
You got 7.
Yes.
So Bank of Agriculture is packed full with transformational leaders.
No,
Wonderful.
this is not Bank of Agriculture. This is Central Bank.
Oh, Central Bank. Who is that? Unaji?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Participants, please. Dr. Unaji is a Director of Trade and Exchange, Central Bank of Nigeria. Director of Trade and Exchange. Yes. Please, a round of applause for our director, Central Bank.
For everyone.
That's good. That's good. Thank you very much, Dr. Unaji. So anybody who scored below 5, don't worry, or below 6, don't worry. You have seen the characteristics of transformational leaders. So it's for you to begin to benchmark yourself, and then you see areas, those qualities and characteristics that are missing, then we can help you to fill those gaps. If it's taking you too much time to fill those gaps, is it in the area of being charismatic? Is it communication? Is it innovation? Is it creativity? We can help you to achieve that. Thank you very much. Now it is time for closing thoughts. According to Richard Branson, we all know Richard Branson. No one here who doesn't know Richard Branson. He said that train people well enough so they can leave. Train them so they can leave your organization. Treat them well enough so they don't want to. What is the point here? You can train people. It doesn't make them to add value. It doesn't make them to believe in your organization. But if you treat them well, so there's a difference between train and treat. That's what Richard Branson, let's note that. Treat your people well. Treat them well, and then they will not want to leave. But if you pack them, give them all the training in the world, and you are not treating them well, they will leave you someday to other organizations, and all the money you spend training them is gone. So thank you very much. Now is a question and answer. I'm so happy, I'm so excited that you have paid very close attention throughout my presentation. Let me assure you that RiskMap Consulting Limited, they are here to offer you training in every area, from risk management to human resources to strategy, to name it. Apart from science, Risk Map Consulting is here. The Professional Speaker Society of Nigeria is the only professional body for speaking in this country. So we invite you also to join the membership of the Professional Speaker Society of Nigeria. Do you know that speaking is business? Speaking is business. So if you become a member, you never can know. You're preparing a plan B for yourself so that when you leave or when you retire, either voluntarily or involuntarily, you will have something to do. Exactly what I'm doing now. I retire voluntarily from Nexim Bank, and today I engage in speaking. I also am a consultant and do a lot of work both locally and internationally. So we invite you to join the membership of the Professional Speaker Society of Nigeria. Now let's take your questions. As you want to ask your question, you unmute yourself. We have about 20 minutes to do this. Thank you very much. Remember that we are recording this program, and we'll find a way to send a copy of the recordings to you.
Please display the contact page again.
You said what?
Can you please display the contact page again? Display
Okay.
the contact page again. I want to be a professional speaker too.
Okay, you have the telephone number.
Yes.
Telephone there, 0210033297. That is my personal telephone number. You have 073424877, 0907194.
I've seen it.
1111. We also run the Economic Think Tank Center. We provide economic research for organizations, especially macroeconomic forecasting for organizations. Of course, in a dynamic world in which we live, nothing is static. Nothing is static. So you need an organization that can help you to forecast macroeconomic variables. We do that for organizations as well. The Economic Think Tank Center. I'm the founder and also the director general of this particular center. So your questions, please. Hassan Abdullahi, can we hear your question? Hassan, there's no question. Adeoti Timothy, Aderibigbe, your question. Babangida Muhammad. Babangida Muhammad, your question. Do we have Chukwuemeka Uwonso? Dr. Unaje, please, can we have your question, if you don't mind? Then we have Dr. Bruno Unduka from Giaba. Giaba, you're welcome, doctor, from Senegal. Fantastic. Dr. Bruno Unduka from Giaba, Senegal. You're welcome. We're happy to have you.
Thank you very much. No.
That's Dr. Bruno.
Yes.
Dr. Bruno, we all know Dr. Bruno. It's revered in the area of compliance risk management across Africa. Giaba. Please, Giaba, let us hear a word from you. What is Giaba all about? Dr. Bruno. Dr. Bruno.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Dr. Bruno. Tell us about Giaba.
Okay, thank you very much. Giaba is the Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering in West Africa. It's a specialized ECOWAS institution that is based in Dakar, Senegal. I'm a Nigerian working here as the Director of Evaluation and Compliance. Giaba is the one superintending over 17 countries, the 15 ECOWAS countries and 2 non-regional countries in terms of their compliance with internationally acceptable anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism standard, which we popularly call the FATF standard, we conduct the mutual evaluation of all the member states and then look at the vulnerabilities within the system, the gaps, and then help them to also address it by placing them on programs that they will undertake to be able to ensure compliance with their anti-money laundering regime. Currently, we are undergoing what we call the second round of mutual evaluation. 5 countries have been fully evaluated. 4 other countries have been evaluated, but their reports have not been discussed. So we hope to conclude this cycle by 2023, which is in line with the global AML/CFT standard. And we are helping our members to ensure, because money laundering, like you know, is a major problem in the world, and not only in West Africa. And our countries require that they should be able to have their own instruments in place, have the right institutions, have all it takes to be able to undertake what we call risk assessment, which your organization is doing, and then undertake what we call international cooperation, have a very robust supervisory regime, and then our accountable institutions should be able to put in place preventive measures, and then we have the right institutions that can conduct investigation, prosecution of money laundering and terror financing cases, so that we're able to confiscate and ensure that these stolen wealth are returned to our region and used for development. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That is very excellent. That's very excellent. So we all know much about GIABA. Yes, GIABA is in charge of fighting, financing of terrorism, and also issues of what's that again? Money laundering across West Africa. That's very, very fantastic. Thank you very much for coming on board. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. Do we have Dr. Unaji around? Dr. Unaji, the Director of Trade and Exchange. I'm trying to, I don't know if she has gone. I can't see her again. Okay. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, are there still further questions? Okay, please go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Chukwemeka Nwonsu, your question.
Yes, I am Chukwemeka Nwonsu, retiree. I was the head of public relations and media in the Public Complaints Commission. And I hold a master's degree in development studies and the media public relations executive. So my question is, first of all, please let me congratulate you on a well-delivered paper, which was very, very instructive, informative, and which, if applied by those still in service, will in fact motivate their subordinates, well, you don't want subordinates, but their colleagues in the office to perform optimally. So my question is, if I want to be a member of the speakers, how did you put it, group, those speak like you said, are there special qualifications for such ones, or is it an automatic affair? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. That's a very good question. If you want to be a member, you can also use that email, which we have shown you, or you can call my personal telephone number. Then I will give you the URL, the website of the Professional Speaker Society of Nigeria. There you will be able to see all details as to how to join as a member of the society. Then, of course, the requirements are also stated there. The requirements for the various categories, from fellowship to professional, membership, and so on. Those details are contained in that website. So you can use my telephone number. Let me have your email address and your telephone number. Then I can direct you to that website where you find all of the details. All of the details, you find them there. Thank you very much. That's a very good question. As we try to round up, let us mention again that RiskMap Consulting Limited is very much available to organize training programs for your organization in various aspects apart from science. All soft issues are dealt with, risk management, compliance, and of course, issues about money laundering, trade-based financing, risk, and all of that. So please get in touch with us. I will be very happy. We're about rounding up. Yes, okay. Is that Jonathan?
Yes, this is Jonathan from Bank of Agriculture.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. Yes, thank you so much, Doc, for these insights. It's quite inspiring and educative. But there's a clarification I would like to get. You know, innovation as a leader, creativity as a leader, to be inspiring as a leader, to be one with passion for change, passion for good vibes, drive to help your you know, you call it coordinates. You know, it is quite easy in certain environments. If you look at that, my perspective, for example, in the Western world, it's very, very easy to really inspire, to be creative, to make things happen, you know, taking into cognizance those threats and attributes you mentioned. So my question is, what will be your recommendation for an individual who has that passion for drive, but the environment where you find yourself, be it in the public system or in the private system, the environment makes it very, very challenging and difficult for you to thrive as a transformational leader? What would be your recommendation? You know, you may actually get the requisite training, you try to implement as much as you have gathered, implement as much as you have in your veins, in your traits. But then if the environment makes it difficult, what would be your recommendation? Either from the, you know, micro level or the macro level, the national level. If the environment makes it very, very tough for you to maximally utilize those God-given, you know, capabilities, what do you do in that regard?
Thank you very much. I know the perspective you are coming from. I have worked both in the private sector and in the public sector, and the two environments are not exactly the same. Let us be very clear about that. The two environments are not the same, especially in Africa. The two environments are not the same. Let's also be very sure that I was reading the presentation by Professor Patu Tommy recently. He talked about two types of leaders, or three types of people. He said in a country like Nigeria, you have idiots. There are those he classified as idiots. And then the other type are tribesmen. And then the third category of people in a country are citizens. And he drew this from the Greek philosophers. Now, the idiots are those who don't care about their environment. They don't care. Whether people are dying or their life doesn't concern them, they go about their normal business. They are idiots. And then, of course, you have the people who are tribesmen, whether from a church perspective or from a mosque perspective or whatever, your tribe perspective. This is my tribesman, and then you pursue that tribesman, you know, tribesman spirit or tribesman agenda, whatever it is. There are only 10% of people are citizens of a country who believe in the cause, who believe in the countryness of the people. So in the private sector, it is very easy to actualize this concept of transformational leadership, because every private sector, every investor will want the best for his investments. And therefore, people who engage, the more innovative, the more passionate people that you have, the better it is for the organization and the better it is for the bottom line. But in a public sector, the type of public sector that we have in Africa, it's a bit very, very difficult. So the only way you can actualize this is through your developing your emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence means your ability to network. Because if you are not able to network, if you are not able to join them, as it were, to join them, it will be very, very difficult for you to practice transformational leadership. So those distinctions need to be drawn. The public sector and the private sector are not the same. In the public sector, it is about joining them. It is about belongingness. If you don't belong, go and bring professor from everywhere. Well, maybe you bring in 7 professorship, or you are the most intelligent person, you think visionary and all that. If you don't belong, you don't belong. That is the distinction between public sector and private sector. So for public sector, you must find a way to be more emotionally intelligent. You have to be more emotionally intelligent. Of course, you remember emotional intelligence is part and parcel of transformational leadership. So if you sit in your corner and you don't have ability to engage, if you have to be able to engage. So it's still possible to practice in transformational leadership. So there are certain qualities that you need to lay more emphasis, and that is emotional intelligence, engagement. Of course, if you are passionate, if you are emotionally intelligent, you should be able to practice transformational leadership. So according to Sun Tzu, The Art of War, you need to be conscious of your environment. And it is that environment that will enable you to tailor your leadership style. Remember, we said that transformational leadership is an amalgam. It's a blend of different, leadership styles, the best in every leadership style. So you need to understand the environment and be able to see the type of transformational leadership that you are going to deploy. Remember, there are several characteristics. So all the characteristics may not be deployed in a public sector environment. I hope I've been able to respond to your question.
Very well, sir. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Any other question? So please, this is a quarterly event. It's 5. Okay. Unwosu, I'll come to you right now. Just a second. I'll come to you right now. Emeka Unwosu, I'll come to you right now. This is a strategic leadership series. It's done on a quarterly basis. So this is the last for the year. But first quarter of next year, we're going to organize another one. But please engage our friends. We will come to train you in various aspects of the needs of your and requirements of your organization. Thank you very much. Okay, Chukwuemeka Nwosu, over to you. Your question or contribution.
Thank you very much for that beautiful explanation you gave and the classifications you made between the public sector and the private sector organizations. As you were speaking, I didn't get the question that Jonathan asked because I was told off by a caller from somewhere in Kebbi State who said he wanted to contact my former office. He called me as if I was still in that office. I have not been sleeping well in 6 years I left because every minute of the day I am called and because I work under a transformational leader. Since that 6 years, my details are still on the website up to today. And nobody cares about removing it and putting in a new person. That is failure of governance in that area. So my question therefore is there any way you can engage the public sector so that if they are rightfully engaged and if they want, they can be helped to come up with the right ways of making the organization so that such practices that I just mentioned will not occur. I also want to say that I gathered so much information and experience from the private sector the brief period I associated with them while in office. And also the private sector is structured very differently from that of the public sector. So is there anything you can do to engage the public sector so that they can improve their modus operandi?
Okay, thank you very much. When it comes to the issue of public sector, I'm very careful in discussing public sector because it varies from one particular ministry to the other. And also, if you look at the agencies and ministries, departments, and agencies, it varies from one. So we cannot use one brush to brush all of them. I have seen many transformational leaders. Okay, if you take Central Bank of Nigeria, Central Bank of Nigeria, I know for sure that they engage in transformational leadership. That I know. And also under the former emir of Kano, Sanusi, when he was there, he was practicing transformational leadership. If you go to Nigeria Investment Promotion Council, you have Abolo there, is practicing transformational leadership. Of course, there's so many of them, so we cannot bunch all of them. So it varies, but essentially what we are saying is that we can do better in Nigeria. We can do, because I was discussing Africa, not Nigeria per se. I was discussing Africa. You know, Africa is a question mark. The map is it has the shape of a question mark. So many questions can be asked. But what I have said relates to Africa as a whole, not Nigeria. So it varies from one ministry, from one department, and from one agency to the other. But I think they are trying to do their best. It's not easy. There are so many contending forces that you have to align. That is what we have in Africa.
Thank you.
Abdul Salam, can we hear you? What of Ruth Idam of Bank of Agriculture? Are you there? Okay, Infinis, just a minute. Infinis, somebody is raising hand.
You want to talk? Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm here, doctor.
Okay, Ruth.
I'm here. Okay.
Hassan first. Hassan. Alhamdulillah. Hassan,
talking about transformation leadership.
Yes, please.
I think I see a situation where it is only when you have the privilege or the opportunity to be a leader that you will be able to transform others. In a situation like a BOA, we have some good leaderships, but because they are not in the position of leadership, they cannot be able to transform others. Because I have been opportune, not once, not twice, to saddle the position of a leadership position. And I'll be able to encourage those behind me to become leaders too. So I have always stated it that to be a leadership position, by right, everybody is a leader. Just like the father is the leader of the house, the mother is also the leader of the home, the children, gradually, everybody has a position of leadership. So I want to believe, sir, that there is need to put a concerted effort to encourage people to be leaders. A concerted effort is not just being a leader, but there should be a concerted effort to encourage people to become leaders. Take up responsibilities and stand by it.
Very good.
I think this your inspiration for today has come a long way, and I hope that those of our leaders that are there will be able to use this opportunity to bring out more leaders from BOA. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. That's a very good comment, Hassan. Very good comment.
Thank you.
I like the comment. You are straight on point. The only thing I need to add is that leadership is not a position. It's not an office. It's not a position. We said that from beginning. So in our very little way, we can try to characterize and implement some of those qualities. So, but your comment is straight on point. It's on point. And I think they are hearing. Very good. Thank you very much. Ruth Didam, you're trying to speak. Unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you, doctor. I just want to say that the training this morning is quite impactful and inspiring. Thank you so much.
Your face. Let's see your face.
Click on your video. Click on your video.
Can you see my face now?
Oh, okay. Ruth Didam, eh? Didam? or Didam?
Didam,
Oh,
Didam.
Lovely, lovely face. You're welcome. Lovely face.
Thank you.
Lovely face. Okay. All right. Any other person who wants to say something? We're about rounding up now. We have, okay, unmute yourself. Infinix Hot 6. Unmute yourself. Infinix Hot 6 Pro. Your hand is up. Okay, so distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the conclusion, not the end. We have come to the conclusion of this discussion. We're going to continue with this engagement. There is no end to it, just a conclusion. And let me, on behalf of RiskMap Consulting Limited, on behalf of the Professional Speaker Society of Nigeria, on behalf of the Economic Think Tank Center, we would like... Someone is speaking, Infinix? Okay, please go ahead very quickly. Infinix.
Hello.
Quickly. Yes, please.
Yes, I just wanted to commend the effort of the lecturer that has impacted a lot of things into us. I discovered that inspiration of being a good leader is sometimes an inborn. And then you just discover that as you are doing the job, you are getting it right. I want to also thank the Bank of Agriculture for bringing us into the platform. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you very much. Let's say
thank you.
Some don't agree that it is inborn. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has capacity to be a transformational leader. Okay, thank you very much. Of course, I know that Bank of Agriculture is one of the leading banks. It's a learning organization. They believe in learning. Any day you stop to learn, you are dead. You're dead. So Bank of Agriculture is led by people who believe in education. They believe in training. They believe in learning and relearning and relearning. So I want to commend Bank of Agriculture. As we are speaking, everyone is hearing us from all over the world, from Canada. I can see people from UK. So Bank of Agriculture is being popularized, is being marketed. And we are going to charge you for that. We're going to bring a bill of about 5 billion naira for you to pay for the global, yes. Okay. So we want to thank you. Yes, we want to thank you very much. Yes.
So much for us to deal.
Doctor.
Babangida.
You say you want to bring a bill for that. We are also going to bill you for giving the opportunity to write on our platform.
Wow. On your platform. Wonderful. Wonderful platform. Okay. We'll see how it goes. Babangida. Okay, IBB, thank you very much. Thank you. All right. All right. So we're very happy to have all of you. Dr. Bruno from Giaba, the director in Giaba, we thank you very much. The director of Trade and Exchange. I hope we all know what Trade and Exchange stands for. Trade and Exchange. The director herself, Dr. Unaji, is in our midst. We thank you, madam. We thank you for the honor. We appreciate you. We are very excited that you're able to join this program. We thank you. Thank Central Bank as well. And every other person, we are very grateful to you. Please join the Professional Speaker Society of Nigeria so that we can speak the same way, we'll be on the same platform. In the absence of any other thing, I will ask the lady who scored 8 over 8 to make a few, thank you. Just say thank you on our behalf. Folorunsho Idiot.
Thank you, sir, for honoring me. I appreciate it a lot. On behalf of my acting ND, Alwan Hassan, my GM on the platform, Babangida, and the entire staff of Bank of Agriculture, we appreciate you. We're very grateful. We'll continue to learn more. We'll continue to contribute, and we hope you will continue to see us as a good agric bank, the foremost leading bank. is ready for change anytime. And yes, we can. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Bank of Agriculture, changing for growth. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So send your email address to info@richmarkgroup.com and we will send these materials to you immediately. Please extend our greetings to your acting managing director, who happened to be my colleague at First Bank of Nigeria PLC. We are so excited. The engagement has ended, but please feel free to come across and get in touch with us at any time, 24 hours every day. We are so happy. We love you. Thank you very much and goodbye. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Bye-bye. God bless.
Bye. Oh, Dr. Bruno.
Bye,
Let me unmute
you.
everybody so that everybody can say bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye for now, sir.
Bye, Mazona manager, sir.
Yes.
Well.
Unkechi Ayima. Oh, lovely. Bye to everyone.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye,
We love you.
sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Send your
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, send your email
Thank
to
you,
our
doctor.
yes.
Thank you, doctor. Hoping to see you some other time.
Thank you
Okay.
very much. Babangida IBB. Thank you.
Thanks for the lecture. Thank you very much for the lecture.
And bye-bye to everybody.
Thank you.
Wonderful presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you. With
Thank
your
you very much.
permission, I'm going to end it.